Royal Headache Tablets presents Rosa Fernandez in today's radio show, Do We Smell Like Oranges?
Do you suffer with headaches, indigestion, nervousness? By all means, give RHT a try. Royal Headache Tablets will at once give relief and almost as quickly cure the cause. Take 1 or 2 of the tablets after each meal. Sold by all druggists for 10 cents. Royal Headache Tablets are absolutely harmless, or they seem to be in 1899. Now, join us as Royal Headache Tablets brings you the conclusion of Do We Smell Like Oranges?
Remember, our heroine Diane, a young mother of 3, finds herself admitted to a psych ward in 1997, struggling to live. Colliding memories amid hallucinations with her great-great-grandparents help bring her through the other side of her current situation. This radio drama, based in truth, is a gripping piece about mental health and the battle to slay your own dragon. Now, let's rejoin Diane on the 3rd floor behind locked doors.
I saw a pair of eyes today.
I am loud.
The earthly fates of mortal fools.
I am tired.
And then I felt with dawning feet that such a death were brought too near.
I am melancholy.
But words are weak and count for naught.
I cry.
And pen denies the power to tell the thoughts that steal.
I want to sleep. Places for the psych ward activity table kindly contain enthusiasm while crossing.
Patient property disposition log. Description of belongings.
Black frame glasses.
Undergarments.
Jeans, denim jacket.
Striped shirt, t-shirt.
White socks, black shoes.
It has been determined that you are suitable for voluntary admission. You have been admitted as a voluntary status patient to this hospital, which provides care and treatment for persons with mental illness.
Dear Mama, get well soon. Until you do, here's some jokes. Answers on back. Hi-ho, Silver, away!
Can we hit Diane with a spotlight, please?
Are you craving silence in the dark?
Like the underground mole that you are.
Are the lights around you too bright?
And sounds too loud.
Is your head splitting wide open?
A hatchet buried deep within.
Your only relief is vomiting.
Not once, but many times.
A thought pops into your mind.
Death would be preferred.
Boy, then do we have a product for you.
Try our new self-injecting syringe full of headache-stopping goodness.
Give me a Sue.
Sue.
Give me a Ma.
Ma.
Give me a Trip.
Trip.
Give me a Tan.
Tan.
What's it spell?
Suma Trip Tan. Suma Trip Tan. Go, team,
go! You don't need a doctor to administer.
Too weak to stick yourself?
Nothing to fear. Anyone can give you a jab in the thigh. A prescription from your doctor is necessary. Side effects may vary and are sometimes worse than the original symptoms. Can cause pain or tightness in the chest, dizziness, spinning sensations, drooling, a seizure, anxiety, a boring personality, and a host of other things. Our 30 lawyers have advised us not to talk to you about developing an allergy.
Paged the doctor yesterday. I went for my pills in the cupboard, feeling very disconnected from reality. This week is better.
Patient hears heartbeat pounding in her head.
Paged the doctor today. More ideations. Confusion. Fog comes and goes. I can't drive. Feeling more electronic pulses in my head. Okay for a few days.
Patient reports hearing voices in her head.
We'll page the doctor tomorrow. I see myself smash my fist through a window. Page the doctor. Again. Buzzing and high pitch in my head at night, and I notice a slight tremor in my hand. Down, up, down, up, down, down, down. Rushing down the stairs, I round a corner into the kitchen only to be met with a black and white tiger crashing through the window, lunging at me, looking to devour me whole.
We should get you to the doctor.
Will you drive, Tim?
Diane, I really need you to take your hand off the door handle.
Jumping out is all I want to do.
Please, Diane, buckle up.
Typically, I sit on the examining table in the doctor's office, waiting for them to arrive. Today, I'm much more comfortable in the corner, on the floor, my back against the wall. Hello, Doc. Long time no see.
Hurry up, children. The train's almost here. Brayley, you carry this bag. Carrie, grab those. We need to board quickly, so stay together. Stop fretting, Hazel. Please, help your grandmother. I don't know how many days it will take to get to Depew. Yes, Mother. Maris wrote that she has a room ready for us at the boarding house, with a piano in the parlor. There's a job waiting, too. I can play at the local movie house for the silent films. We'll be making money again in no time.
You came back east.
In 1905. After we'd been back a handful of years to the boarding house, I took the children to see Miller's 101 Wild West Circus on East Ferry right here in Buffalo. A man at the front gate spied Brayley. Ain't you the kid who was always scattering the cattle on our ranch in the Oklahoma Territory? You used to ride a sorrel horse, didn't you? Brayley seemed a bit nervous getting found out. You could scatter the cattle from hell to breakfast. If I could have caught you, I would have killed you and never thought a thing about it. He laughed, taking our tickets. Welcome to the Wild West show, kid.
Places Harriet and Brayley for the boarding house at 4 Sawyer Avenue, Depew, 1909. Thank you.
Ma, what are you doing washing up these dishes? It's not your job.
Brayley, hush. Your Aunt Maris needed a rest. Her back is acting up.
Maybe she should hire someone to clean up after the boarders.
If it wasn't for your aunt, we would not have a place to put our heads. Don't you forget, we are boarders here, too.
Right. Let me help you, son.
No, I'm done. We sit down a bit and we'll have us some tea. How was work today? Oh, you look tired yourself.
Sure don't want to do it the rest of my life, none.
Well, that's a long time off. You don't need to be fretting about that at your age. What have you got troubling your mind, son?
I'm not sure I can get to the Miller's Circus on Saturday. Maybe you can just go with Hazel and Carrie?
Why's that?
Going to the circus gets me thinking about being out west. Last place I saw Pa. I shouldn't be talking to you about this. Don't mean to rile you up. Do you think he might have hitched on the tour and is working roustabout for the Millers?
Last I heard, John headed further out west, so it's most unlikely.
Why did we have to come to New York? You don't talk about it much.
Money, Brayley. We was running out of money, and we had kin here. It was time to put Oklahoma behind us.
What about Pa?
People change. Most times better. Your pa, he changed for the worse. Oh, I don't want to laundry list your pa's faults. It's different than just having a bad habit or two. We all have those, me included. We were so hopeful when we took off across the country. John had work waiting for him, and I was set to teach music. We got married and had us a big party at the hotel in Olean, a ways south of here. And we shoved off with a wagon full of dreams and anything else we could fit. And for a while, he was a scaler for a lumber yard, going into the woods, sizing up the trees for lumber companies. We was living with the Indians then. Your pa worked hard. You kids came along. He was never a trouble. Then, out of the blue, something changed him big.
I don't understand.
It's hard to say. Sometimes minds just don't stay sound. Your pa got to being wild and desperate, with drinking, card playing, and not coming home nights. John gambled it all away. Everything. He left me no choice, and I told him he had to go.
Every so often, when I'm missing him, it gets me to crying.
Crying is not the worst offense of a man, Braley. Lord knows, I miss the John I knew before. I know I ain't no pa. Done my best.
You done good, Mama. Real good.
Oh, that's mighty kind of you, son. Oh, could bust my buttons. You all growing up just dandy. I think John would be standing tall, too.
That means considerable. Before I go forgetting, I have something funny to tell you. Uncle Tom was in the hallway this morning talking to some of the new boarders, and he says, "How do you like being a resident of the mercantile metropolis of the great freshwater seas of America?" They just looked at him, not saying a word.
Well, quite a way to describe Buffalo on a Great Lake.
It sure is.
Gathered round the Christmas fireside, brightened by its ruddy glow, or in summer's balmy evening, in the fields upon the hay, they have all dispensed and wandered, far away, far away.
He sure can write pretty words, Mama. Pretty words.
Now let's put this to rest. Saturday morning, we'll get up and we'll all head to the parade at the fairgrounds before we go into the circus. The newspaper says the Indians will be performing the Sundance and Miss Jewel Mix will be riding. They're promising a gee-whizzer of a time. If we run into your pa, we will do it together.
All right. If it's a gee-whizzer, it should make for a good Decoration Day celebration.
I've saved extra for treats, and I plan on eating myself sick. Lights up for Diane and John.
Thank you, Lights.
Going to work in the garden. Can't somebody take me to the garden? Garden's waiting. I don't have all day.
John?
I'm going to work in the garden.
Yes, John. Why don't you join me? Might make you feel a bit better.
Thank you. I will. I heard me a story about an attendant who kicked a lad to death. Got himself arrested for manslaughter.
How did you feel about that?
Cobb was a nasty piece of work. I might have punched him myself if I had the chance.
How terrifying. Around here, they treat us well.
Rumor also has it some rich dame from Chicago got committed. Burned up a bunch of $1,000 bills before jumping in a lake. Had a trial and they sent her all the way here. Keeping my eye out for her. Well, she's a long ways.
$1,000 bills. There's no such thing as a $1,000 bill.
As I was saying, from Chicago.
Weren't you done, John? Jump right into the middle of sentences, stories, people expressing themselves. That's what I do. Can't wait for people to finish. Then I say something stupid, things that hurt people's feelings. Doesn't stop there, though. Have to find them later and tell them I'm sorry. Can't stand thinking someone's mad at me over my inconsiderate behavior and actions. So sorry to interrupt. I do that.
Sorry. Not really sure what you're talking about, child.
That's all right. I get that a lot from people, too.
Food here is not as good as my Hattie's. She is a fine cook.
Hasn't gotten much better.
Would you like some water, Diane? Feeling pretty warm in here today.
I'd prefer a whiskey.
Now you're talking.
Scotch, if you have it.
You most certain are, kid of mine. Wish I had me some. Dried up the bottle when I ended up in a poor farm outside Tacoma because of the Depression. Got 3 squares a day and good hard work planting trees in trade. Some newspaper fellow wrote that we ate better than the folks who actually worked for a living. Did you get some things from home?
Dear Mom, I love you. I know you're going through a rough time. If you need help, you can ask me.
Love, Jonathan.
Featuring some orange drawings and scribbles. It's as if they know.
Another boy named John. Never get a lick of mail. Mighty lonely sometimes.
Constantly worried my behavior will hurt them. If I don't stop, they'll end up like me. But I'm no good to them the way I am now, so here I sit, depressed and exhausted, doing exactly as I'm told.
Maybe you will fare better than me. Some do. Some, not so much.
Diane, Harriet, and Doctor, places please at the activity table for therapy. Somewhere near day 6 in a Buffalo psych ward. When I was a kid, I climbed the pine trees all the time. Sitting there watching the world go by. Even read books up in those branches.
Trees are good for what ails you.
Tell me about your family, Harriet.
Well, Doc, I'll tell you. My twin brother, Tom, married a much younger woman. French. 'Twas a bit of the scandal. He was a big-shot writer, a reporter and editor, a poet, too. He had some work published in the Saturday Evening Post. His wife left him, taking their daughter back to France. A nomad at heart, he lived with me until he died.
Family legend has it he had a bit of a reputation.
Please, go on.
Carrie came back to me shell-shocked from the Great War. He worked on the railroad in France, transporting troops from camps to ports for departure back stateside. Got married and had a daughter. Named her after me.
That's nice. Did he drink?
My daughter, Hazel, married an Irishman. He worked on the railroad as a brakeman. They had a daughter, but the marriage didn't last. Her second marriage worked out much better.
The first husband was Irish. Did he drink?
Braley grows up to marry a lovely gal. She dies just after giving birth to her third daughter. Consumption. I helped raise those girls like they were my own, until he remarried.
Did he turn to the bottle?
I'm not so sure everyone has a whiskey bottle in their pocket causing them grief, Doc.
You'd be surprised.
Last night, I attempted suicide in my dream.
My sister was widowed young, lost 4 of her 7 children to the diphtheria. She supported the family as a boarding mistress, and no, Doctor, she did not drink.
For a few hours every night, I find myself spiraling into the nasty place, my personal code orange.
John ran off in 1904. Before that, we'd lived among the Indians in Wisconsin, then built a farm in Kansas. John staked us some farmland in the Cherokee land rush out in the Oklahoma Territory. Had us one of the only wooden houses.
Diane, I have scheduled you for ECT tomorrow morning. I think it will help. You will have 5 more applications before you leave. Once you are released, I will schedule you to come back once a month to continue electric shock therapy indefinitely. It's perfectly safe, nothing to be concerned about.
No. I actually opened my mouth and said aloud, no. I have migraines. They are around my period. I have ideations. They are worse around my period. I have my period. I will not have ECT. Period.
Shock therapy?
Come on, Nana. I've had enough of the activity table for a lifetime.
Your hallucination, dear.
Lights and sound to match first scene, please. When I got here the other night, I gave them my name at the registration desk. The lady laughed and said, "Oh, you're that Diane Jones. We thought you were the other Diane Jones. She's a patient here all the time." The desk lady laughs again. "But you are short and she is tall, and well, she is not very nice. You seem nice enough." Thanks, I think.
Where do your husband's people hail from? I don't think I ever knew a Jones back in my day.
Wouldn't you know it, the other Diane Jones shows up. Should I go say hi?
If I were you, I'd leave the sleeping dogs to lie.
Gathering up my strength, I head over to meet my psych ward twin. "Hello, my name is Diane Jones. Crazy we are both here at the same time. It, does not go as expected. They were right. She is not the friendly one."
Sorry, dear. Attention! Please line up for your medications.
Obediently, we fall into a long line. Let me tell you, when it got to be my turn to be given water and a little paper cup of pills, I held my hospital bracelet out to that nurse and said, "Please double check my ID number because there's 2 of us Diane Joneses in here today, and I definitely don't want what she's having."
Slanchiva! To your health.
Cheers, Nana. Here's to all us Diane Joneses. 1:35 p.m. I, Diane Jones, agree to not attempt suicide and have been offered a 3rd ER evaluation, which I refuse. Signed, Diane Jones.
Lobotomies. They did them at the state hospital where my John ended up. Do you think he had one of those lobotomies, Diane?
It's hard to say, Nana.
I hope not. John Rothrock, your paperwork for your admission is in order.
Mrs. Jones, please sit down. May I have your insurance card, address, phone number? Yes?
I see you are 79 years old and last resided at Grays Harbor County Poor Farm here in Washington.
Is your husband the guarantor? Yes? Where does he work? You have been approved for a 6-day hold.
Lumberman, farmer, widowed, you say? John Rothrock, you are now a resident at Western State Hospital for the Insane. We've cataloged the effects received upon admission, and we will replace your threadbare hat, pants, shirt, drawers, white socks, and black shoes with 1 extra suit, shirt, socks, underwear, hat or cap, handkerchiefs, shoes, and 1 pair of slippers. In the event of your death, the parties responsible for the expenses of the patient will be notified by letter or telegraph, and if no response is received, the patient will be buried in the cemetery belonging to the hospital. An orderly will be here shortly to escort you.
Please put your personal belongings in this bag. Sign here and follow me.
John wasn't always bad. Well, no one ever really is. All good or all bad, that is. I want to think he did himself all right out west, among the tall trees next to the Pacific.
The number the Western State Hospital assigned to mark his gravesite on their property. 2299.
2299.
I missed him. He's going to visit today. I colored these pictures for the kids. He can take them home with him, for better or worse. There's an old man, a very old man. One of those patients who is always walking the floor, every day walking the floor, agitated, lonely. Today he stops and looks at me, standing quietly, exposed in his hospital gown, whiskers on his leather face. And he whispers, "Hattie." Now I wonder, maybe he remembers you.
Oranges. You'll tell him goodbye for me, won't you?
First chance I get, Nana. Lights fade on Harriet. Rise up stage, please. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, in the year of our Lord, 1997, it is a princess locked away in her tower who ultimately tames the dragon. I took the medications, I talked to the doctors, therapists, specialists, and did it over and over and over and over. This princess helped herself out of the tower. Dragon finally tamed. I no longer want to burn down the town. In telling these family stories, I pay down the debt of gratitude I owe to the ancestors. I take strength in standing tall in line with these ghosts. Slow fade to blackout. Stand by. I should say, however, life has shown me we cannot be fooled that all dragons can be tamed. In honor and with great respect, I dedicate this play to those we have lost to suicide and to those of us who deal with mental health issues daily. I think of you often. We are strong, those of us that face these fire-breathing dragons within. Slow fade to blackout. Go. Salud.
Thank you for joining us for our radio show, Do We Smell Like Oranges? Starring Rosa Fernandez as Diane, and has been presented by Royal Headache Tablets. Do We Smell Like Oranges has been produced by Leaves Are Falling Fast Productions, written by Diane Jones under the direction of Tracy Snyder, starring Rosa Fernandez as Diane, Lisa Vitrano as Harriet, and Todd Benzin as the Doctor. These fine actors also play multiple roles. Our announcer is Matthew Refermat, and our commercial spot announcer, Tracy Snyder. Be well, stay safe, and good night.